On with the show. You've seen her quoted in Cosmo, she's done radio interviews, and she's been requested by the press countless times to answer all of your relationship questions.
Dr. Patricia Covalt is an expert on relationships, and she's recently published her own book that many are calling the Relationship Bible, What Smart Couples Know. We met with Dr. Covalt and 4 real-life couples to see what the key is to a happy, healthy relationship, especially in these times when the divorce rate is at an all-time high.
I love people, and I'm very much committed to helping people. I did a lot of work to become a licensed marriage and family therapist, and then I went back to school later and did a PhD in clinical psych.
Wow.
And I've been practicing for 30 years.
We're so lucky to have you here in Denver, Dr. Covalt. I mean, you've been quoted in Cosmo magazine, LA Times. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Is that something fun for you to do?
It's fun, but I tend to be kind of a serious, intense person and very serious about my work. For years I did workshops and public speaking and teaching and so on, and I'm getting back to that now that I'm not putting all my energy into the book. So I'm really kind of excited about both.
What Smart Couples Know. Why are you so passionate about it? Why did you decide to put it down and to write a book?
Well, I think when I first learned of emotional intelligence, that in itself lit a passion in me, just realizing what emotional intelligence was all about. And I thought about my work with couples over the years, and I thought if this piece had been there, it would have made a lot of difference in my work. If individuals can learn to develop their emotional intelligence and use it with each other, I take a very strong position on this, and in all the publicity I've done, I say I guarantee, which is a very strong word, I guarantee that if you develop your emotional intelligence and apply it in your relationship, you are guaranteed to have a happier, healthier relationship. Emotions and what they are, identifying what they are, and utilizing them and naming them for yourself and for your mate solves everything.
Wow.
Strong statement.
Yeah. How long have you guys been married?
14 years.
Did you dodge that question because you didn't know it?
No.
Okay.
I had asked her a short while ago if she knew, and I was just checking.
I was trying to sell him a house, was my first ulterior motive.
Did she sell you the house?
No, we came to Colorado.
Yeah, but he's been paying for it ever since.
We actually had one date and got married.
So now, how long have you guys been married?
36 years.
Wow, holy cow, you look really young for, were you 16 when you got married?
No.
We met right in high school.
How to help me tune into Kim better and to her needs.
The answer is to learn to listen and ask questions. And I don't mean listen with your ears, although you have to, but listen with your heart. And to really listen and then ask further questions, and that is absolutely the way to tune in.
We're an older couple. We've been married a long time. We're kind of comfortable where we're at. What kind of benefits would it be for us to increase our emotional intelligence?
What is so exciting about EQ, I'm going to call it EQ if that's okay, is that it applies to everything. Do more of what they're already doing, and if things start to slip, then dig in and look at it. And what am I not doing here that I could do that requires more emotional intelligence?
What are some of the biggest mistakes that couples make in their marriages and their relationships?
I think one is that they are often self-absorbed and caught up in themselves instead of in the other person. And a big part of emotional intelligence is tuning into the other person. They don't really know themselves very well, and self-awareness is the first step toward utilizing emotional intelligence. Not knowing yourself and what you're doing and why you're doing it and where you came from and what you're feeling and what you're thinking is a huge mistake in a relationship. Get over yourself and tune into the other person at the same time that you insist that your own needs be met.
My question would be about our personal history. You know, who we are when we come into the relationship and how much that impacts our emotional intelligence.
When a couple comes in and says, my history, my growing up experience and my history does not affect my marriage, I say, oh good, we get to call the Guinness Book of Records. Because that is not possible. Absolutely everyone in every marriage and every relationship is bringing a history into that. And I don't mean the history of a previous marriage and a second marriage. Your early life experience and your family of origin affects who you are, how you got to be who you are, and who you are married to. The way we attach as children and the relationships we have as children with our primary caregivers are almost always duplicated to some degree in our marriages. and any trauma we've experienced, anything we've experienced, is in our marriages. It's not all bad, it's not all traumatic, but it affects our current relationships, absolutely.
So Dr. Covalt, if you could just give one piece of advice to folks who are listening today, what would you tell them?
One of the components of emotional intelligence is hope, optimism, and positive thinking. If you are not hopeful and positive and optimistic, your chances are lessened. Being hopeful and optimistic is absolutely essential. It would be so easy to give up, and most couples, I think one of the reasons the divorce rate is so high is because couples give up too easily.
Yeah. Dr. Covalt is multifaceted. She has her own clinical practice, and she's also in high demand for her public speaking. She's available to speak to nearly any group on a wide variety of topics because emotional intelligence, a key theme in her work, applies to every aspect of life. She also hosts weekend retreats and workshops.
If you'd like to learn more about Dr. Covalt, you can go to her website, drpatcovalt.com, and sign up for an upcoming retreat or workshop. She also works with individuals facing divorce as well. And if you have questions for the doctor, you can email them directly to her at drpatcovalt@aol.com.